Everyone talks about flashy RV upgrades. They talk about the big screen TVs, they talk about the outside lights, the inside lights, and how flashy and how nice everything looks. But here's the truth. Most of that really doesn't make a squat difference once you own your RV. Most of that makes no difference once you own your RV. Today, I'm going to break down some real innovations and some technology upgrades and maybe some concepts that aren't quite ready for prime time that can make your life easier, more enjoyable, and save you money in the long run. If you care about boondocking, reliability, and cost savings, then this video is for you. Let's get started. Here we go. Hey everybody, I'm Chuck with Lake to Lake. Today I'm going to give you some examples of some things that have saved me money in camping, some of the technology, some of my upgrades, and maybe some concepts that are coming down the pike that haven't quite reached prime time, but will be here in the very near future. Let's get started out with power. Lithium batteries, awesome upgrade. Lithium prices have come down tremendously. You now have the ability to get a lithium battery bank. You can get an inverter that will power your TV, your microwave, even up to your air conditioner. And they're no longer for high-end rigs anymore. My little our pole trailer here, I got 600 amp hours of lithium batteries. And let me tell you what, when I was out in Quartzsite about a month ago, I was able to go 4 days without hooking up to power. And not only that, I don't have solar hooked up right now. I disconnected my solar for the trip. So I was able to go 4 days just on my batteries, and then I had to fire up my generator. That's pretty amazing. Now, I'm going to tell you what. You got to be a little bit careful with this solar lithium power package, because some of these trailers that say they're solar ready, they're not. They just got a wire running from the roof down into the basement somewhere. Don't fall for that. But if you combine solar panels, if you combine lithium batteries and you can combine an inverter and maybe a DC to DC charger, that allows you to camp remotely without paying for hookups or without hookups, boondocking, whatever you want to call it. And that's cheap and it's good and it's reliable. I did it. I know it works. The second thing is, when we first started going RVing, we'd go out and set up camp at a local state park, and we didn't care about connectivity. We really didn't care if our cell phones worked, if we could get on the internet. But now it's just almost a requirement. With people working from their trailers when they're traveling, from people getting on Zoom meetings, to people wanting to watch streaming videos like Netflix and Amazon, or just having your kids play games. It has become a requirement, not an option. And let me tell you what, I've tried the cellular route. I struggled with it. I did not do very well with it. It seemed like the places I wanted to go, I couldn't get cell reception, even though I had the 4 major carriers. So I switched to Starlink. Starlink's been a game changer. It's worked everywhere I went. When I was out in Quartzsite, there were 3 of us. We all used my Starlink. It worked perfectly. And everybody else had Starlink out there. I was getting 120 to 150 download and I'm getting 30 or 40 uploads. I tell you what, there's nothing that I couldn't do. It's a game changer and it works and it's needed for families now when you go camping. And remember, this opens up places to go boondocking where you normally couldn't go with a cellular system. It just gives you unlimited possibilities and it works. And that's why I recommend it. Okay, now we're going to talk about a Honda travel trailer called the Base Station. It's a prototype. It's not out yet, but I'll tell you what, this thing has some extremely interesting ideas. First of all, it's small, and it's made small on purpose. It's just a single axle, but it does come with options. You can get an air conditioner, you can get an outside shower, you can get a kitchen, outdoor kitchen. It comes packed with lithium batteries. It's got you extend the top, it gets up to 7 foot tall, so you can stand up in it. Supposedly sleeps 4. I don't know about 4 adults, but it says it sleeps 4, so we're going to give them credit there. 0 emissions, which is big for some people because you don't need a generator. You run off the lithium if everything's going right, and the solar panels on the Honda trailer can recharge the panels. You're good to go. It can also be towed. It can be towed behind some of the most popular cars in America: the Honda CR-V, the Toyota RAV4, as well as electric vehicles like the Honda Prologue. Now, let me tell you what. This is a small, lightweight trailer that's designed to be pulled behind a smaller vehicle. You don't need a truck, so you do have some limitations. But let me tell you what. You can put it in your garage. You can pull it behind an electric vehicle with the battery bank underneath it. It'll go a long ways. So anyway, that's in the future. It's not out yet. But you know, when Honda first came out, they made the little subcompact cars, and everybody thought nobody's going to buy these. Nobody, everybody wants big cars. That was back in the 70s. Well, you know what? Subcompact and small cars, they're a big hit, and Honda helped make that change in America. So maybe they're going to make a change in the RV world. I don't know. Time will tell. But I tell you what, they got some innovation going on, and that's what we're talking about. The quality builds of the new units are much superior to the ones from 20 years ago. They're getting away from the wood, the stick and tin, the corrugated panels. They're going to aluminum tubing. They're going to my Asdel sides, and it's a better product. They don't rot. Some of the Airstreams now come with a plastic floor, so the floor won't rot if it gets damp or gets wet. We're seeing more and more of this as the industry matures and the customers or consumers are demanding reliable units that last a long time. They don't want to have to trade in their RV every 3 to 5 years because the floor's rotted out or the sides are coming apart or the screws aren't holding the siding to the wood. We're seeing that. That's I know I've complained a little bit in the past about the quality, but I'm telling you what, we got a better set of materials, and I think quality is on the rise. We're always going to have complaints because they're man-made. Man makes mistakes. They're not put together by robots. So what do we find? We find less rot, fewer leaks, and a longer lifespan. We're seeing that now in the industry. So don't buy because you think of the pandemic models that were made. Mine's a pandemic model. Sure, it's had some issues, but you know what? It didn't stop us from having a good time. It didn't stop my grandson from going with us. It didn't stop my wife from cooking. You know, saying they're built better, better materials. Quality's going up. Give it time. They'll work out the kinks. Another very interesting thing is an all-electric furnace made by RV Comfort Systems. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't think this is it's ready for prime time yet, and I'm not sure that I'd want to get it without a backup propane heating system in my RV, but it's a step in the right direction. Somebody's thinking outside the box. It's got the same footprint as a Suburban or Furrion gas-powered furnace in either 30 amp or 50 amp. It definitely works better with shore power, and that's what I would highly recommend. I'm not sure I'd run off a battery bank yet. Proof's in the pudding, but I think shore power would be a necessity. No flue is required, so you can put it anywhere. You can put it inside the unit. You don't have to vent anything. It's non-venting, and you eliminate propane. The blower is AC with no brushes, so the blower doesn't wear out like they do in some of these units like I have. So anyway, again, I think this is the first step. I think we got a few generations to go. This is what I call 1.0. I think maybe we need to get to 3.0 or 4.0. It's just like lithium batteries. 10 years ago, they were $1,000 for a battery. Now you can buy that same battery for $200. And I think we're going to see that in this furnace, electric furnace for RVs. Just give it a few time. Just give it a little bit of time. Just give this RV furnace, electric furnace concept a little bit of time. It'll mature, it'll get better, and it'll work. Some of the other things we have the tankless water heaters, which, they save a little bit on energy. Yeah, I have instant hot water. Can't complain about that. That's something that has changed in the industry. We have heat pumps up on the AC units now, so if you're in that 40 to 50 degree weather, you can heat it with electricity on the heat pump from the AC units. Again, there's small steps in the right direction. Induction cooktops. My wife really does not like to cook on the propane cook stove inside the RV. We do have an induction hot plate. She loves it. One of the main reasons is we have an induction cooktop in our house. She loves to cook on it, so she likes to be able to cook on an induction cooktop in the RV or outside the RV. We can plug it in and cook outside. But again, it's these small things. It's, if we can eliminate the gas, the propane furnace, and we can eliminate the gas cooktop. Now we have electric furnace, electric induction cooktop, and you know what? We got the microwaves, the convection microwaves that run like a microwave and also run like an oven. So right now, electric furnace, induction cooktop, convection microwave. We just eliminated propane. I'm not ready to go down that path yet, but we're working on it. So what does this mean for you? If you're getting ready to buy today, take a good hard look at the RV and the quality and the way it's built. If you get one with the Asdale sides and aluminum structure, and don't chase luxury, chase systems. Make sure that what you're buying you can use, you can repair, and it's reliable. The Schwintek slide system's kind of been a problem in the past. I see many companies going away from that. Maybe you want to take a good hard look at when you buy something. Do you want that Schwintek slide? Remember, you got the power, you got the lithium batteries, solar powers, inverters. We got construction, we got efficiency. These the newer rigs, they got solid walls. We got more insulation going in the roofs. Can't complain about that. Everything is getting just a little bit better as time goes by. I think the RV industry is finally reacting to the consumer's pain that they've been experiencing in the past, and they're trying to come up with solutions that are less painful and that consumers can service themselves and eliminate the need for an RV tech to come out to fix things. And like the tankless water heater, those things are a jewel. I have one that's gas and electric, and I've had all sorts of silly problems with the fuse keeps blowing in it. My electric heating element burned out. And they're just a pain in the rear to service. But I haven't heard too many complaints about the about the tankless hot water heaters. They seem to be pretty rock solid now. They had their growing pains the first year they were out. A little bit of wind and rain affected them, but I think they've got those kinks worked out. So the RV industry, I don't believe, is going the way of the dinosaur. I believe that we are coming up with some good products, well-built products, well-designed products. We're getting some more items built into the RVs, disc brakes, anti-lock brakes. We're getting anti-lock brakes, disc brakes. We're getting better suspension systems. We're getting fold down stairs that come down that are solid on the ground. You can get handrails now. I think as the consumers have started demanding more, the RV manufacturers are building what the consumer wants, not what's in their warehouse. And I think we're going to continue to see that. And I do think that if you buy an RV today in 2026, you're buying a much better unit than you bought one in 23 or 24. So I think that'll wrap it up. I want to thank you for watching. Again, I'm Chuck with Lake to Lake. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. Ring that bell if you want to be notified of my other ones. And until we meet around the campfire, y'all take care now. Bye-bye.